Brooks.
Here.
Tim O'Connor.
You know all the names.
And she
And
looks at you.
That's all right.
that's it.
That should be a requirement for chair.
Everybody's here.
You have to call people by their first name and last name.
Do we have an emphasis?
No.
No,
No. We have full commission?
we have a good discussion.
Oh, okay.
Okay, everybody's got a copy of the agenda.
That's good. You guys are all numbered by a lot. My smartness, attractiveness.
As it should be.
There you go.
Is there a motion to approve the agenda?
I can make that motion. Did we want to add the minutes, approval of the minutes we
That's
received?
coming.
It is? Oh, but do we need to add it? Like July?
Yes, we'll have all of them. We have, we will.
Oh, okay.
Yes.
Never mind. My mistake.
Approval of minutes. This motion was made by Karen, seconded by Lee.
All in favor?
All in favor?
Aye.
Minutes are approved, or the agenda is approved. Nobody is here for public or citizen input or comments.
I'm sure.
Okay, the minutes, we have 3 sets of minutes. Katie on Outlook emailed us the July and August, and Lady emailed the September ones, and then there was also some minutes from the park tour last Thursday. Do we want to approve them, make a motion to approve all of the minutes? There was 4 different sections, or does anybody have a comment on any of them that needs to be taken care of?
Can we approve them all at one time?
I think we're supposed to approve them separately.
Okay, we'll start with the July. Is there a motion to approve the July?
I make an approve motion.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Motion for the August ones?
I move we accept the August minutes as published.
Second?
Motion?
I try to let Karen in there once in a
Is there
while.
a motion? Or is there, all in favor?
Aye.
Yes.
I was like,
Moving on to September. Motion to approve the September minutes.
I'll make the motion.
Okay. Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
The Parks Tour minutes, taken by Keith.
I'll make a motion.
I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Okay, so the minutes are all caught up. Good job. Whew, okay. Correspondence, we've got 2 little things of correspondence. The, thank you, Delphi.
It's right there.
Sorry.
Sure.
You saw that.
Do you want to read that? Do you mind reading it?
No, I don't. This is to Lisbon Parks Commission. Thank you for the invite to tour the parks. It was very eye-opening on what we still need to
Yeah.
improve on. And nice to see the work that has been completed, Jermaine.
Jermaine Sullivan, the city commissioner that went on.
Nice.
And this is application to a report on the participant hours in Adopted Park, Douglas Park by Jennifer Teller. And she says, picked up tree debris at Locust Tree Hill and Cherry Street, picked up garbage in Lighthouse Park and New Rocky Historic Park, playgrounds, beach, parking lots, picnic areas. Reported to Mickey that Memorial Rock is tipped over and almost buried in sand, concession stand. So that, she did in September. It worked 9 hours. So it was a day and then some.
And she always helps with Nancy Brown too.
Yeah, she
She's
does.
a good volunteer, and she does fill out the report. And I did ask Katie today, she is the only one that has.
Does the reporting?
Well, she's the only one in the Adopt a Park program right now.
Only one that's active. We've had several
Yeah.
adopted park that have never,
They don't report.
they don't report or they don't even actually do anything.
Because I think somebody has First Street, don't they?
Well, no, Jan would be,
Jan does.
that would consider Jan First Street,
Oh,
you know, Douglas Park First Street. We
okay.
had, a group of realtors take over an adopted park for, Riverwalk. Yeah, nothing ever came of it. So, yeah, we have.
There's somebody for Fifth Avenue too, isn't there? Ed, is Ed doing that?
Taggart?
Yeah.
Perhaps, yeah, but he doesn't report, but.
And what about Jane Seaver?
She would send the hours to me for the butterfly garden, or sorry, the winter garden,
Right.
and Mary Jo for butterfly garden. Yeah, her
Good,
and
so
Bob
there's something.
will always inform me. They do not fill out a report, they just send me emails and,
Good.
yeah.
That's a worthwhile, so it's good. There are a lot of volunteers, so that's good.
Sorry.
Committee reports, disc golf, Tim, any updates?
I've heard nothing. Do you know anything, Mike?
Yeah, we got most of the baskets in bar one, that we are working on. That took place last week. So we had, I don't know, since the last time we had posts put in. Tom was down there giving us some directions. We had to move a few things around. Most of the baskets are in. I think there's 17 in. We're waiting for the 18th one to go in, but that's a special one.
That's awesome. Any indication where the rest of everything's supposed to come in? Or
Such as,
what's missing now?
The signs.
yes, signs. I have not had any word on when they are coming in or who's doing those. It's
Is
probably-
Tom working closely with Jeff on that? On this?
Yeah, Brandon mostly, because him and Brandon walked the course there when we were putting the baskets in.
At the last meeting, we do.
Yeah,
Okay.
but nothing's been. Liz should probably address that. We talked about we need to be involved in that. You know, it's just one of those. It's a project that we're supposed to be spearheading, but it just seems that we're kept out of the loop.
We are on many projects.
Yeah, as far as the project, so it's communicating with Tom. Anything communicating with Tom should be going to the Parks Commission at the same time.
And you're on the committee, it should
Yeah.
actually, Tim should be included on that, when you can go on through.
We talked to Jeff about it at the last
Yeah.
meeting.
We'd
you
like
know.
to be included if
Yeah,
possible,
I mean, yeah.
you know,
Yeah, I mean,
and
that's
before the
not
fact,
easy.
not after the fact,
Yeah.
you know, which is huge.
I think it would come from you and address them as an email. Please start including our Parks Commission members, you know, and anything related to, because even on the First Street Beach softball, I mean, there's been no communication with that whatsoever, so. I don't, we can't move ahead on our part unless we find out what's going on, because, I mean, that's the first I heard what Mick said.
Yeah.
And we need to start planning for spring, when we do our big, you know, dedication, so.
I'll email Jeff and just.
Yeah, I'd like to
say that.
coordinate it.
Yeah, and I will put that in our annual report too, I kind of working on that. So nothing on the First Street
No.
Beach, yeah, and we do feel left out. Mick, any updates on that one, on the softball? The softball diamonds at First Street Beach.
I know Bill and Jeff and I met with the softball people, and we had discussed something. We have painted all the bleachers and put some new yellow protected on the fence. We were initially going to pull the press boxes, but I mean, I get Bill's point. If we take it away, you probably won't get it back. So Mark Hansen, who is the facilities maintenance person, he's already painted and re-roofed the one right on the corner there at
Looks nice.
First, and so the next one in line will be the other softball field. But he's the only person that does facility maintenance. So we got a lot of buildings. So when so hopefully for spring that all will be taken care of.
Did it need a new floor in that one, or was
That one needed a new roof. The other one needs a new floor. The one to the southwest. So yeah, that one's in dire shape. Disrepair as well.
Yeah, and Tim, you should meet with them on that too, because there's going to be quite a bit of money, I believe, if we get the grant spent on it. So
Yeah, that's.
we should be included in that price, what's going on. Anything on the 9th Street kayak launch or nothing?
Been gathering some information. Laney and I are gonna try to go to Onekama next week and view the one that they have. See
Okay.
what it's looking like after it's been opened and see how many people are using it. And I also know that you have experience there that we'll have to tap into.
Yeah.
What was your experience?
The experience was that it's very nice, the launches, but the walk to get to it is very far, and it's like grass and sidewalks, and if you were there with a handicapped person, and we have kayaked with someone, and you want to be able to unload your kayak right by the water, because when we do it, his wife does it, and then he just gets in. This way, you'd be either dragging it on the dirt, the sidewalk, the grass. It was quite a barrier to get to the water. But once you got to the water, the launch was very nice, but I thought that wasn't, you need to pull right up and be able to get the kayak off your truck or car or whatever it is. So I thought that would be hard even, it was hard. Actually, well, her daughter then, and she had a broken foot, so that's why I think made me realize this doesn't really work for someone who has an issue. So we could revamp that. The grant writing, Lane, you were out.
Fifth Avenue.
Oh, excuse me, Fifth Avenue tennis courts, anything updated on that?
I don't think anything is gonna be done with that until the master plan's approved. I mean, I think that's more of a stalemate right now. I mean, we could talk about everything we wanna do with Fifth Avenue, but it's been a subject that we've been talking about for almost 2 years now, so. Doesn't look like it's gonna be approved because it looks like it'll be torn down, so why put any money into it? But at the same time, you talk about blight, I mean, there's a lot of things that need to be fixed around there. The fence and if they're gonna be, continue to be used, so.
And it's not maintained.
Yeah, I honestly, that's something when you make your presentation next month to the city council, it's just a good example to bring up. We need to make some progress on that. There's nothing on that, is there, Mick? The Fifth Avenue beach, the tennis courts?
Well, we removed the nets when
Yeah.
the season was over.
But there's no long-term plans right now. Yeah.
Wrong person.
I'm second in line, so I'll speak to the point. I do think we need to reiterate the fact that the tennis courts as they're described are not functional tennis courts. There are no, quote, tennis players who actually use it to play tennis. Other people do enjoy it. There's a historic connection to it, all purposely understood and stated. Albeit I do think we can make a greater use of it by repurposing it to using the cement pad, just nail down nice tents for weddings.
Oh,
Or for other receptions, or for church services, or something else.
Or big
It just seems something that we've been talking about for a number of years, but until the powers to be, it's gonna stay the way it is,
Yeah.
to be
I
quite
think you're
honest with
right.
you.
Yeah.
I mean, we all voted to tear it down, the majority of you did, but it's still standing up.
And
So,
it's not getting any better.
it's just nothing's being done to it, it's just kinda like being left, like it's just there to decide later as far as what needs to be done.
So you said the powers to be, who are the powers to be that actually would move this forward?
Yes.
Jeff
Jeff?
and the city council, a recommendation. You know, it's one of those things we talked about many a times, is that when we see no progress being made, then you bring it to the city council. You know, we may suggest, and you can do that at any city council meeting, bring it to the table and say, this is an issue that we've been talking about for several years, nothing's being done about it, we need help, is there any movement from you guys, can assist with something like that? I mean,
Maybe they don't even know about it.
Right.
Would there be an objection if I went to a city council meeting and said?
Not at all, we appreciate that.
Although this is an issue that,
yeah, absolutely.
Well,
and
You
the vote was less one, as I recall.
We talked about it.
It wasn't unanimous.
But it was a clear majority.
right.
Okay, thanks.
Yes, good.
Don't know when I'll do that.
Let me know when you're gonna do that. I'll try to be there.
Okay.
I wanna hear you.
Yeah, all right.
Oh, yeah. I think you do well at that, to be quite honest with you. Take pictures, do a little PowerPoint presentation, because they need to see it visually, and then hit them. I'll help you with that.
I can't turn that down, thank you.
I'll be your vice.
I need it.
All right. Very good.
Good, thank you. That'd be effective, that's good. Lainey, on the grant writing, you were
Well,
active in the Greenberg.
Yeah, I think I kind of gave everybody an update. We met twice, and there was a meeting I couldn't meet with the grant people themselves, which was fine.
Who's in your meeting with you?
Bill, Jeff, two guys from Spicer. I have the names. I think it was in the email, Lucas and somebody else. And then, that was it. And to kind of go over, you know, what we were looking for. And we wrote the grant, and city submitted it, you know, got all the documentation that you need to attach to it from Radford. You know, Bill Gamble looked it over, Jeff, you know, of course, had his calculations in there. So there's, as I described in my email, there was a lot of parts to it. But, you know, why not? But the one thing is, it's almost scary, because if we do get it, Parks Department's gonna be maxed out trying to complete all this stuff. You know, it's a good problem, but it's, you know, it's gonna be a lot of pressure
It'll be fine.
to do all this.
A lot of pressure and a lot of work.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. And in the in-kind part, you know, does include volunteer stuff. So don't forget, you guys are gonna be called on to, you know, do some of the in-kind voluntary. We do have that Morning's Park stuff to do yet too, so. But keep your fingers crossed. I don't know when we'll know. Do you guys know?
Jeff probably knows.
I don't know.
I thought it was
December.
Yeah, I said
Yeah, we
that.
have like a week.
But I think
because-
we've been letting people know sooner. I was thinking that they actually said 5 weeks or so. Is that,
Yeah.
anybody else hear that?
Yeah.
Jeff said
Yeah.
more towards December, but.
I think it worked out well, just doing it together. I don't know.
And I'm hopeful.
Yeah.
I'm pretty hopeful.
I think it's great that you were involved in that.
Yes.
Well, it's one thing I know how to do, you know,
Yeah.
better than like,
Well, that's the thing though, you bring your talents, yeah, you bring your talents to the commission, that's awesome. So,
Everybody, so not so much.
But you
The
do work
match
well, you
was-
do work well with a shovel and a rake.
I know how to do it, but,
Yeah.
yeah, I did kind of complain to Joe. I said, the only sunny day in the next 7 days, and I was home typing, but that was okay. If we get it, it'll be more than worth it.
Thank you for that.
Yes.
No problem, I was
Every
happy to
time
help.
you did a great job. No, it got done. The main thing is it got
Oh,
done
yeah.
and it was submitted and we all
Yeah.
agreed it. And the grant, the matching grant for that money was the Morton Park money
Yeah.
and the 15,000 for trash cans. So we basically had, you know, the city of.
And the
money already approved.
seniors softball donated
4,000.
too.
That was awesome.
Yeah, so-
Yeah.
We got the matching grant, it doesn't have to be.
Those are private,
Yeah.
foundations?
So they must be a pretty powerful group.
That's great.
So, and they, of course, had their input, a lot of different groups too, which was good. Because they're the users, just like, you know, some of you went to Morton Park and knocked on doors in that area, I mean, that's huge.
yeah.
So, the real users are saying what they want.
Okay, the goals for each park. Kelly had, you made this, what was needed, we did hand those out when we were going through on the park tour. Did anybody look at those?
Is this something that you're gonna address next month with the city council?
Yeah, so we should kind of go over, and I think we did a little bit, what I'd like to have in that report would be our strengths and our weaknesses. And
You gotta point out the good and the
the
bad.
good and the bad,
Absolutely.
and, you know, what
And
most.
solutions
that?
to how to work through it.
Not upkeeping, you know, the things that are in disarray that need to be fixed, that are not fixed, you know. Just some things that we like that we've been trying to get done, but just don't seem to be moving forward on. I mean, I honestly think you should do another meeting before your meeting with the city council and help
Okay.
you, all of us put it together for you.
Oh, I love that.
Yeah,
Okay,
What is
let's
the
set
date
the date.
of the city council?
I believe
Well,
it's
do
November.
we want it to be an official meeting, like a quorum, or maybe we should do just like a subcommittee?
Maybe a committee so that,
I mean, if we have people who are interested, then it's an official meeting. If not, then we can do our, you know what I mean?
It could be a working session, so it's much,
Well, yeah,
much less
then,
informal.
you know, it's the bother of making poor Katie work another night.
She loves these meetings.
This brought cookies.
I heard Nick say that he
Bring-
bring.
Bring cookies and snacks, and I'm good.
There you go.
And that was when she was sick,
okay.
that's why I took the September.
The other thing is, and I don't know anything schedule, but what time do you get off of work? Maybe 3?
3:30.
So maybe have the meeting at 3:30 so you don't have to stay in Manistee till 5:30. I don't know if that would work for anybody else, but that's one thought for the work session. Yeah, I think that would be good.
So what did you say your meeting was?
It's November, when's that council meeting? It's a Tuesday, so it's gotta be the first Tuesday.
So the 8th? No, the
Yeah.
1st is the first Tuesday, and then
I
the
think
8th.
it's the 8th, yes.
It's election day.
Oh, I think it is.
No, it was, I think they.
Yeah.
Because they do it in the
Yeah.
first.
Yeah,
It's just nice to be there to support Liz when she goes up in front.
Oh, I can
sent you an
see being
email,
there.
When I double checked it,
But
because I
I'm-
wrote it, but I believe it's the 8th.
Being there, I like. What I was saying is to help her with the
Yeah, strengths and weaknesses.
presentations, yeah.
Okay,
Is-
when should we do that?
Well, your meeting's the 8th.
Yeah.
You want to do a work session or something?
How many people would be interested in coming?
I would be, but if I'm here.
Depends upon what day you pick, to be quite honest with you. I mean, what's the, is availability of this room? We
You have
check.
to, yeah, right.
Okay.
But we don't need to meet in this room for
I
that.
don't think we do, we had a work session.
For our work session, do we have to meet
No.
here?
You could have
That's a
it,
good
where we used to
question.
have meetings on the
Yeah.
second floor.
I would think that would be okay, I'll get.
Yeah, Bluefish. You gotta have a couple drinks to go along with it, it just makes the meeting so
I'm
much
interested
better.
now.
Okay, now we have a quorum. Yeah, now we're in trouble.
Yeah, there you go.
Well, come on, you run my goddamn table, I would really like that.
Should we do it next week? Is that when everybody's thinking, wanna do it?
I think either next week or the week after, because you're not too far away. I mean, my gosh, I hope you got all your Christmas shopping done. Mine's done.
First was done in July.
Anybody Tuesday, October 25th?
We give out first aid kits, just have a lot of first aid. kits.
October 25th, is that good or bad for anybody?
October
25th, it's a
25th?
Tuesday.
Is it Tuesday?
Mhm.
Or is it Thursday?
Well, no, for the work session.
It's a bad day for me.
Is
I
it?
don't know if the 25th doesn't, again, it's a
Okay,
majority.
then let's,
Maybe 26 is good.
How about Thursday the 27th?
Yeah.
I can't do it Thursday the 27th.
How about the 26th?
I could do the 26th.
How about the 28th?
That's Friday night. I gotta go.
Oh,
26?
I could do the 26th.
That's
Come over.
Thursday.
So
No, it's a Wednesday.
that's a Wednesday, the 26th.
5:30, place to be determined, based
I
upon.
will let everybody know, just 5:30, okay, Katie, or
That's
if you
fine.
have to be there, let's find that out for sure.
We should excuse it.
But you're gonna have to have minutes.
No, Mickey says no.
Because in a minute, the work session.
Oh, yeah, there was nobody there when we were downstairs.
A work
No, we
session
have it
like
on
that would be
one
easy
part.
to do minutes though, I mean, to be quite honest with you.
We're gonna take notes anyway.
Tour would
so,
consider a
yeah.
meeting.
Okay, I will do that,
At 5:30?
5:30, October 26th, and I will let you know where.
Can you
And
check,
think about that before that meeting, so we come in, prepared.
yeah, does a work session need to be here, or can we do it like the bungalow, the little banquet room or something? Does it have to be recorded, or?
How about the
Yeah,
Marine?
I will ask on that, I will call.
Yeah, check, if we can go off-site, that'd be kinda cool. I
You
mean,
have to call on that, Kelly or?
Kelly.
Okay. She can check.
Marina.
I'll sponsor it.
We're just discussing, the strengths and weaknesses, right?
We
Everything else,
we
so.
bring our t-shirts to the front.
Okay. Look at that, what's that, Kelly, or two something that needs to be done, that, and then probably prioritize that. And what, that page list, narrow it down.
You
And
gotta
then
have a goal,
strengths, too.
you gotta, and when you come into them and you talk to them,
Oh, yes.
I mean,
I've started.
and then
so-
say it's on every single one of you to make all these things happen. We're making the suggestions to you, we report to you, it's up to you to take interest in this and make it happen for us, otherwise it never will. That's what I did when did it last year, I just put it on them. Like, why are we still here? And we talked about this 2 years ago, and then I think it was Aaron said, we talked about that when I was on the Parks Commission. You know, and I was like, it needs to be finished, whatever, one way or the other, so.
And it was a little disappointing that only Jermaine Sullivan came from the council. Now, Erin Hunt, she had a meeting, and Erin Payette, she did get excused, and Cindy Guston wanted to, and at the last minute had to go to Grand Rapids, and Dave Bachman did send a message he was out of town. And then Jim Grabowski had a memorial softball game, that he had to attend, but.
How much notice did we give them? Really, was it more than a month? That we were gonna do the parks?
Yeah, it's pretty good, but, and the stuff comes up, and they do have lots of meetings, but still.
I know Mick is leaving.
Yeah, I did not hear from Nick, and I called Linda to see if she was coming, so. Yeah.
Yeah,
So
it's
anyways.
disappointing to only have one.
Yes, it was. But a plus was that Sarah came from, and that's not probably,
Yeah.
Sarah came from the foundation, Manistee County Foundation, as part of the grant writing, and is very positive on parks. So we've got a little,
That was a good thing.
yes, and she was very interested and sent a thank you for
Oh, she did?
including her, just it was an email, and so she'll be an asset down there, so. Okay, Mort Park update. Well, not an update, last time we had, I think it's going to happen because if we get that grant, that.
Even if we don't get the grant.
Well,
We
even
still
if we
got the
don't,
money.
we have the
Yeah.
money to do it, but I honestly believe that city council, everybody's on board with it.
So we're just kind of on hold for now until we hear about the
Right.
grant.
Well,
Yeah,
and
we still have
Some
it.
things have been ordered
The
too.
two trees have been.
And the 2 trees have been planted, and it was going to be lined last week for, the open area. It was gonna have lines put down to play in with Dursa Marshall, recreation director was going to start lining it so kids could have a lined park. And,
I thought picnic tables were gonna be as
picnic tables, were you
Thought
gonna
they were
replace
ordering
that
them.
picnic table?
We removed them because of the weather. I didn't know there's still people using them. I can return.
Oh, did you remove it from Morton
Yeah,
already?
yeah, because we
they
have to
were
refer it.
I was gonna ask you about that.
But I know Jeff is
That-
gonna order garbage
Because I
cans
noticed it was
Yes.
gone.
right away. And,
Yeah.
I think he mentioned.
So want more back there?
Big-
Oh, yeah, no problem. I can do it tomorrow.
Just, there are people, that is a really, there's particularly one woman that uses it almost every day, and that one that we took from there was needed repair.
Yeah, it's at the shelter already repaired. I can drop 2 off tomorrow. It's no big deal.
Thank you. Okay, so,
How about the light? Is there any update on the light that's out there at the park?
I didn't know there's an issue with that.
Okay, it hasn't been working. One of the residents had asked me to look into that.
Is it a park light or?
Didn't Jeff say something?
Is it owned by consumers or is it?
I'm not sure who.
So I'll find out then. If it's
There's
open-
like one light
Yeah.
right near
But
the
then-
entryway.
Jeff said.
Yeah, if it's a consumer power, we have to notify them. We can't change that. So I'll find out for sure tomorrow.
Thank you.
Yeah, no, that's, yeah.
and then the neighbors have taken on to watering those 2 new trees, which, since they were planted, they have plenty of natural water. But the one thing that they were looking for was tree guards, if, kind of protect the tree from the deer a little bit, and then it'll also hold to the water, so
And
I
Jeff
don't,
said he was gonna put the bags on, remember, from our park tour?
I don't know if those got on. He was going to do that, but I don't know if those got on.
Yeah, we used to have bags then when Anthony's took over, so we were looking for them the other day. I think we have to purchase bags for.
I wonder if Anthony's would have 2 left over from.
Brandon was doing that.
Okay.
So he contacted me.
Thank you. Anything else on Morton Park? The Douglas First Street Beach basketball hoops. That's part of the grant that, the meager grant that was applied for, was to get just 2 decent basketball hoops with the quality of the prison ones that they had like up at Glen Arbor, and those were the 3. There was some discussion here that maybe we get the 2, but I did send to Jeff the exact ones that the architect from up north had
Yeah.
sent us, so I'd say go with them. They were very pleased with them, they held up, and Manistee has a problem with basketball, and it's not just there, Jefferson doesn't have them, with the basketball backboards not having hoops. And I think that's a small thing to take care of that. That's an example on the report, of something we should make sure the town has. The Origins Project. Kelly, you want to report on that? Kelly and I
Who
went
attended
to
that?
Kelly and I did,
And rain,
and Laney was there.
and the rain.
So the paper
Pouring
said
down rain.
sparsely
Yeah.
attended?
I couldn't get there.
Well, it was very windy and rainy and sleeting.
It was a downpour.
Oh,
But
really?
it didn't look like it was going to be downpour, so nobody was prepared. There was,
I thought they were electric before the weather.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
I was driving, yeah.
it was well
But
attended.
it could have been timed worse.
No,
for the
they had
rain,
rain
you know,
for
it's
2
like-
weeks.
It was time before, it was beautiful after,
Yeah.
yeah,
And
just
the
It
over
was
and
a
out.
complete
Yeah.
downpour, rain, wind.
I thought-
Yeah.
And then there was
Yeah.
a big shot from what organization? Yeah.
Michigan Tourism, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Michigan. It
Yeah.
was like that.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
They had-
So that was kind of
Oh, that was cool.
yeah.
I thought the whole thing was great.
I thought it was very well done, and I had booklets that, I don't know if you got it, if you saw the little booklet that I prepared, that's actually very,
Oh, that's awesome. Very,
that booklet's very interesting, that one on the town.
very.
I'd like to see more landscaping of some sort, but.
People are reading it, and someone, just one of the neighbors that by us came by and stopped and said, Liz, you have to go down there and see this. And he had a little notebook and had written all this stuff, and I didn't know this. It was a person my age that had been born here and said, I didn't know all this stuff. So he was really interested in and had read every plaque. So I think that's a positive thing. I think Brandon did an excellent job on it, and I think Sammy from the CBB did an excellent job. They worked together. It took, I believe, 8 years is what they said was
Yeah.
the timing in on that.
How many
So-
tons of metal was
I
it?
tell you what, when that wind, it happened yesterday,
Oh, yes.
those things,
Yeah.
we got them out of the ground.
They what?
They were
Bending over.
bending.
Were they bending? Okay.
Yeah, but they're up right now, I mean, they can handle it, it's like,
Yeah.
yeah.
They're probably designed, because they had
Yeah.
open holes that made it easy. But, I mean, Brandon personally put those in, and each one was, how many pounds? You could say 400 pounds.
How many are there?
A lot of money, yeah.
Like
Yeah,
that,
big size.
Yeah, really
Yeah.
cool.
Really cool. So anyway, that was a positive, and then they had a little thing at that little the first Danish church in the United
Yeah.
States. Ken Cooper had coffee and cookies afterwards, and in the basement of that church, which is something that it was interesting, there's diagrams, or
Yeah.
diagrams, or whatever they call it.
Dioramas.
Dioramas
Yes.
that of the history of Manistee that were like hand carved, amazing.
Cool.
It's so worthwhile to go see those, that it's just a little gem down there, right? It was figures carved out of wood with little, that someone, Mr. Manson had handmade and donated them, so they're, they're just hidden in the basement of that church, but
Which church is it?
the
Where is it?
Danish on Walnut.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, the
Yeah.
Curtin Church on Walnut,
Watch around Christmas time, because on Christmas weekend, sometimes they have an open house.
it's very
That's where I've
worthwhile if
seen
they
it.
do.
And then they
It's-
tour both buildings too, where they have musical stuff and
It
that's
was,
all.
And Ken Cooper took us on a tour, and it's worth it to hear what he has to say, or
Yes.
whoever else is on the tour.
to give the history of the whole thing.
And Ruth made delicious cookies, you missed it.
I missed it.
Memorial chairs, Karen?
I only have experience with one personal experience. We took up a collection for the family of a friend who passed away, and we ended up with something like, everybody wanted to be a part of this. We started with maybe 8 people thinking we'll get together and pull together the funds and do this, and it ended up being 40-some people. People just kept hearing and seeing these chairs and hearing the story and what it was about, and they all wanted to be a part
Should
of
have
it.
the Adirondack.
Yeah, exactly, sorry, the Memorial Adirondack
Oh my
chairs.
gosh.
And we sent around pictures and people just kept pouring in and hearing about it. So we ended up having a service down there on a Saturday, renting the Lions Pavilion, and it was perfect. Everybody was so happy, the family was over the moon. I keep getting Facebook messages about people who saw the picture, heard the story of the Memorial chair, and they all want to come back to Manistee to go visit the chair
Oh, yeah.
and sit in the chair
That's
and
awesome.
experience it. So it was whoever you thought of this, right?
It was kind of a collaborative effort.
Great idea, great, very well received.
I thought it was.
Are we still selling memorial chairs?
I think
Yeah.
we are, but a lot of them have already been purchased, correct, Mickey? I don't know if you've already.
Yeah,
I think a lot
and it's
of
the
them-
Adirondack chairs right now, and it's not benches, right?
Right,
Yes.
looking at
Yeah.
that.
And then we probably need another project too, and
I think
they're still attached and they're gonna go inside for the winter, correct?
Yes.
And they didn't blow off during
No.
the.
No, actually, they stayed
Didn't
fast, yeah.
I couldn't believe it. They
That was a
stood
nice
straight.
They didn't move an inch.
So
Unbelievable.
we do or do not have more Adirondack chairs for purchase?
Well, it depends,
We
we
have
probably decide how many we want.
Yeah, we have.
We have 2 spare ones right
Yeah.
now, Bob.
Oh,
There's 2 spare ones in the background right now.
Okay, because that might be enough. I mean, you can overdo a good thing or put some on Fifth Avenue or something else, but for First Street, I would say 6 or 8 would be enough.
I would like to be able to walk that off to see where these should go. Jeff talked about that.
Yeah,
We need to do that.
because at some point you'll need to know what the count is and when we.
Yeah.
And the
so
program.
You've had more since those were placed.
Right.
Mhm.
And actually, instead of the benches, I put that in, I put
I do too.
Where are the benches? There's like a
Everywhere.
sidewalk in sand. Really? Okay.
Yeah. The people like those at sunset, so, and then we should decide if we think that they should go up Fifth Avenue, and then if not, we should think of another thing for the memorial, because I think we do have the benches, people might really be tired.
So I posted the park tour on Manistee Prop, and I asked for comments from the public, what they would like to see in the parks. And I want to share that with all of you at some point, but one thing that they said was they would like to see, have you all been to Stearns Park in Ludington? They have benches right between the parking lot and the beach, so people don't have to, they want to get out of their cars, but they don't want to have to go walk through the sand. So they are asking for benches at the top of the beach, just off the parking lot, so they can sit and enjoy the beach also. I think that's a great idea, and that might be another memorial thing that we could do. So we need to talk to John about that.
There is work on, I like what you did with it. Isn't there talk about putting a wall at Fifth Avenue Beach like they do at First Street as well?
Oh, are they?
See, we didn't.
That, there was talk a long time ago, but yeah, I mean, but I'm just,
Yeah.
it was how would you do
They
it
want
at
to be in the sand. They want
First
to,
Street?
Right.
Outside
The
the
other side.
right,
Yeah.
right, yeah. That was, I thought that was a great idea.
Yeah,
I think it's a
it
good
is.
idea, yes.
Because then we can keep the memorials coming too.
Right, and then we're supposed to decide what in each park is needed, as far as benches and chairs, so that we can offer that as memorials as well.
And then I think we had mentioned even the basketball.
Yeah,
hoops,
exactly. Exactly.
Because if they're close to 5,000, there might be someone that says, yeah, not the whole 5,000, but a plaque that said, the memorial, was given in these following people's names. So, and like Karen said, we just put a money drawn.
Oh, we could have bought 3+ chairs for the number of people who wanted to
So that's like
donate.
1,500, 1,600.
It was over 1,500.
Yeah,
So
so,
they family decided just one chair was enough, and we donated to charities in
other charities,
other
but,
charities.
yeah.
They thought about to.
And one thing that wasn't on there, but the money year to date, and then there's a little fluctuation that it was $4,025 from the rentals and platform lines year to date, so
That
that's.
was 6,000.
I think that's the beginning, and we're gonna do even better. Now that word will get out that you can reserve it, we just need to do a better job of promoting it.
I wish it was online, I wish you
Yeah.
could do it online and just get it reserved online.
But here's the thing, there's a lot of things that we can done at that Lions Pavilion if we're in charge. And somehow we gotta get that done.
And that got brought up on the Parks tour.
Well, that's
that
hopefully that's what that money is for, that we can,
The major thing would be a restroom.
Right.
If you're having a wedding there, the
A
porta
real
johns,
restroom
like
would
the
be
bridal
huge.
gown, it's hard to walk into a.
what would you like to see down there, Kelly, that you notice?
Well, the restroom for sure, but this sounds massive, and I don't know how massive it would be, but there's been so much sand that has blown into that area. It's so much higher than all of the concrete areas. It needs to be, yeah, it does. And then, we don't have a sand sweeper, do we? Do we? Like Stearns Park is grass, and they take a sweeper in the grass. I don't know
Yeah.
how often, once a week, every day.
Yeah, Center Park's a little different geographically the way they don't get the amount of sand that we do because they're protected by the south point. So when they get north winds with hammers, just like we've had the last few days, blowing sand, I mean, there's nothing protecting us any winds from the north, northwest, or west. Ludington's that's why that park can have grass, because they actually are protected from the south point.
But they do sweep it,
Yeah, they have a room that would sweep it, but yeah, we need grass first to be able to sweep it,
Yeah.
right? But we can't grow the grass because of the amount of sand that goes up there.
Yeah.
I think that's, in my perspective, that's just me talking, I think that's one of the problems down there.
Well, some towns use it like just on the cement, like we had a friend come up and he looked at Fifth Avenue and said, oh, you don't have sand sweepers, what he said, and I said, well, I don't know. And he said, well, that's what towns would use it to keep.
I'm not familiar with the term sanctuary, we've got brooms.
To maintain the tennis courts, it's
You know,
pretty quick,
yeah,
it's
yeah,
like
yeah,
Zamboni,
But
and
then,
it just cleans it quickly.
yeah, and I think Stearns had a lighter bristle brush that, take it off the grass, so you're not pulling the grass out.
Yeah,
I can reach out to those guys and find out what they have actually.
yeah, because when it was edged, it looked really nice.
Yes, it did.
And if we could keep that up, and we still need to paint the cabanas, the underside, they all need paint. And that greenery, whatever it is, the weeds or the trees, all that stuff there, needs to be,
Thinned out.
yeah.
Yeah, I would agree. If we're gonna
Trees
run
that
it,
block the water, you
Yeah.
know.
if we're gonna run it, it should look nice.
Yeah, absolutely.
I guess, here's something, I'm hearing two things. Clean out the greenery, but yet the greenery
Is
would
holding the sand.
yeah, so maybe we need to be a little selective, you know, because dune grass will kind of help.
Yeah.
Yeah, with erosion.
And maybe,
But I think it's more than dune grass.
It's more than June, it's like those trees down there.
well, there, yeah, there's like the
Blocking the
starry
view.
Shrubs.
But-
Yeah, they're
Yeah.
just kind
Volunteer
of
growth.
invasive trees.
Volunteer
No,
growth.
Yeah,
we're done
volunteer.
with the poplar clips, the poplar trees.
Oh, yeah, that's.
Coming from, over there,
Yep.
from the
Yeah.
park, so, yeah.
Can we cut down those trees?
Well, you
Do
did.
we need permission?
I'm sure we done it several
Yes,
years
I'm
ago.
sure we did.
Probably.
It needed a blessing.
We were drunk, we did it this year.
But when you sit at the picnic table, you can't see the water.
No.
Yeah.
There's, yes, we need dune grass, but the rest of it could probably go.
Well,
But that whole area there could be so groomed and so pretty.
Well, you'd almost need to take a bulldozer. I mean, the amount of sand that's there's a foot. You'd have to start with a bulldozer and put it back in the lake.
I mean, when we edged around those cabanas, I mean.
Well, we also done that around the tennis courts too.
Yeah,
That's
we
where
done
the
it.
tennis courts.
How long did it last?
Yeah.
But it's still good.
But it's
still
all
good, too.
sand,
Yeah,
right?
but
Yes.
gotta knock it down and raise it with
No,
blowers.
it was
Yeah,
sand
but that's-
before,
Which would be fine.
Because that would get rid of the trees too, and give everybody the view.
And that would be something we
And
used
those
to.
people all-
Are you guys listening?
No,
No,
we were still talking.
So, it needs a bulldozer.
And we have one.
And it's something that the Parks Department can do, and they do that already around the tennis courts. Because, and that would solve your problem with the aspen trees too. Because if you take a bulldozer, they're gonna be gone, and chances are, I don't know how far you'd have to go without running.
Well, I don't know about the dunes and the beach. I mean, when we done around the tennis courts, we were able to scrape everything down. That'd be something for Jeff to discuss, because when you get near dunes and water, then there's other
That's
things
EPA
that
thing.
take. But personally, and it's just me speaking right now, I'm not speaking for the city, around the paths, I mean, I agree, the way the sand is built up,
Yeah,
that could be knocked down, add some topsoil and seed it, you know. But it's also, you know, and we have the equipment that we can do that, but if we have 3 days of wind and snow and we're cutting down trees, you know, off the streets, I mean, we're still limited with staff. But yeah, but that is something that, and then when you do it, when people don't get annoyed, why are you here doing this? I mean, that's what we run into. You know, we try to do stuff and people, I try to clean the sand off Fifth Avenue, we used to have people parking underneath the loader. It's just like, I gotta do my job.
make you want to scream.
Yeah, that's tough, and it's, yeah. Oh, boy.
Do you have a list that you publish that each of us could sort of look at and
Well,
in terms of
this-
the cabanas you said?
Yeah, that was on the Parks tour.
You want to pass this down? So you can.
I have it for you, Bob,
look
I
at
don't know if I brought
it.
it.
So you weren't at the Parks tour, so you didn't get the.
Right, I was not.
You're okay, that's okay. I have one for you, I can get one to you, Bob.
I've got one right here.
No, I want that
Oh, you want it back?
Oh, actually,
Your own.
We'll get you one at the work session.
All right.
Well, actually, I emailed that to you.
Oh.
Well, maybe email it to all of us.
I have one printed, I printed enough for everybody, so I think we have one for you.
Because I'm sure Tim wants to see it too.
Is this what you guys did with
But
the
I-
park tour?
But I did email it to you.
Well,
It's the same one we have months ago, right?
All this hand.
Yeah.
any comments on the park tour? one was, I wish that there'd been more councilmen. I think we should open it up and get more people there, if we could.
Well, something was said, like, I don't know, that they shouldn't have more, they were kind of discouraged.
It was discouraged, and the only thing, Jeff led it, and there was no discussion, there wasn't even, that was attached, but we didn't discuss what each park needed or anything like that. It was an educational opportunity. It was not a meeting where information was
Decisions.
discussed or
Right.
decisions made.
It would've been hard to
Strictly
do
an
that.
informative,
Yeah, absolutely.
an informative drive-by is what this was. So, another time, I would say it would be very nice to even get, if they would be interested, like someone from the county parks, because the county people are using our parks. I mean,
Exactly.
the more people that we had involved in that, Dursa Marshall should have been,
Yes.
so I think next year we should,
Or maybe the
it
county
should be
commission.
continued, and maybe the county commissioners, if any one of them or one of them wanted to
That's a
attend.
good idea.
I
That's a
think
great
that
idea.
we should enlarge it rather than diminish it, and it is in the bylaws that it is an annual park tour, so
However,
we're supposed to do it.
Jeff did a great job
Yes, he
with
did.
posting it, and it was very informative. But we really weren't allowed to interject anything, because there wasn't enough time.
No,
Not that
there
it was
isn't.
less, there wasn't enough time.
Yeah.
And also, we didn't get out.
No.
So, it didn't.
We wanted
And
to get
nobody
out
stopped
after.
us from getting out.
Well, the time.
Yeah.
Was the issue.
But.
So it was part of the time
How many
issue.
year away around that?
Do it earlier in the year, because it got, and
Oh,
Jeff was
yeah,
right,
yeah.
before it could start. So if we started at 5:30, but, it was in October, and October's already getting dark, if we could even do it in September, like the
Or
first
even
week in
August,
September
where
or
it's still
August.
light until.
And people are
9:30.
using the parks. It'd be nice to see people in the parks when you're driving by. So in August, and see the bonfires on the beach or whatever, an August night might be a better night for it.
If we do it in the summer, we would see how people are using it. like
Yes.
this.
Right.
Yeah, you'd see,
And then go over, with city council and whoever else attends, show them what needs to be done. Right now, they don't know what needs to be done because we didn't talk about that,
no,
so,
Same park tour we had 2 years ago.
yeah.
yes.
We might need a bigger bus.
Did city council come that year?
What's that?
Did city council attend it that year?
Yeah, I don't know if Mickey was on there, but we had,
Yeah, I was there.
I would say we had almost full attendance on our last bus tour.
Also, what the heck
Didn't
happened?
seem like it.
Yeah.
Because
They were
there was
discouraged.
somebody, a staff member from City Hall, I remember. Wasn't Jim Grabowski there? I think a couple of them were. I don't think it was everybody,
But
but.
it was well attended though.
Yeah, yeah.
But we did the same thing. We just took a good gesture tour. Toured it, came out, toured it, came
But
out.
the thing was, we heard that they were discouraged from coming, so why would you discourage?
And,
Well,
We have to work.
was
We
it
need
because
to
they were
address that.
afraid of a quorum?
A quorum.
Yeah,
Well, that makes sense.
but again.
They
Or
could
take
have
notes.
three.
Or take notes on it, actually
Yeah.
take.
It's not a
we did
big
have
deal
notes.
wherever court.
Yeah, I
It
mean,
just
let's
makes
not-
it official, you know? what I
Yeah,
mean?
take notes because it wasn't a
Yeah.
bad thing. It wasn't, money was spent on it, so I think that we need to.
That's what
I
everybody's
think
concern
large-
is, oh, you got quorum. Okay, well then that's easy to resolve. Just set it up as it's gonna be quorum.
Yes.
Then we don't
and
have
take
to worry
minutes.
about, we're not doing a secret meeting.
Yeah, I mean, it's important.
Yeah.
It needs to be attended.
Can I ask a question, a clarification question? Because I understand a quorum, you can't do business unless you have a quorum. But how did it get reversed that if you have a quorum, you
I
can't
know,
be
exactly.
together
It's,
in that
you're
quorum meeting?
suspected, basically.
Is that written that, because it's
I see
written
what
that,
you're saying.
you know what I mean? It's written that you can't have business with.
Laney
Yeah,
is,
quorum,
Laney
but-
is our legal counsel.
If somebody wanted
Listen
to,
to the lady.
if somebody wanted to raise a stink, especially with city council, maybe not so much with us, but they could say, we saw 4 people, that's what people are, together from city council, and they were making important decisions on hiring the next manager.
Yeah.
It couldn't mean, and they could be talking about their backed up sewer, but that's what people would say.
So why can't minutes, Katie took minutes.
Yeah.
Well, they can, but it's the willingness to do that.
But that's what I'm saying, why is the willingness not there?
We've
This is
had that.
important.
Well, because they already have how many meetings a month,
Yeah. But I think
And
this
it's
is
not
important
just the
one.
city council, it's everybody else who has to attend an official meeting. The police, chief of police, the directors, you know, everybody's supposed to attend. I don't know how they would manage it. They probably don't know, and that's probably why they don't do it. You know, it's a management nightmare.
Yeah.
So, you know.
But I think we should add that next
I
year.
mean, I think
Let's
just
work on
ask,
that.
if you get
Well,
3, you're
yeah,
doing
we
well.
We should take
weakness.
control of
Why
it.
did they
Yeah.
get
Liz,
5
that
2
could
years
be
ago?
considered a weakness in how
We
we
probably-
It is,
It's a
I think
solution.
we got to.
yes. Yeah.
Address it as
Yeah.
a solution.
We got 2?
Yeah.
We only had 2 people attend, not 2 years ago?
Oh, for us?
Yeah.
Oh, we had a good showing.
And we have people represented from the chamber as well.
Yeah,
It was filled with
But-
us. I mean,
yeah, the bus was full, but it was a variety of people.
it was a good variety, a good
Counts in
mixture.
Okay.
there. Yeah, too.
But
Yeah.
nothing was accomplished from it because we just did a tour. It wasn't the good, the bad. It's like, this is Fifth Avenue, turn out. You know, I mean, it's just, there was nothing to discuss about what.
The other idea would be to do it, if you're going to do it annually, divide the parks in half. And, you know, say, we're going to do the north side this year, and then next you do the south side. The north side has so many parks that you could just have a, you know, between just all the parks on the north side, just tour that.
Hit the ones that you want to do
And
projects on.
actually
you
go,
know.
go see them. Yeah, don't try to hit every park. I think it was good to see every park. You know, I think like Sarah was nice to go watch and Tricia never been out every park.
Why is it that it takes so long to get stuff done? I mean, seriously,
Because it has to go through a process. It's not like your own business or anything where you can make a decision on your own household.
But tetherball 4 years?
That's a different issue.
But-
Just
but-
government in general.
But there are many issues with that.
Well, because I'm sure there's a lot of reasons. I don't have the answer to why it took 4 years to do tetherball, except for we had to stay on.
But shouldn't we care about that? As a commission, shouldn't we care about that?
But we need to do that. The thing is keep in mind, the DPW, it's not just the parks there that have to deal with it. Yeah, they have the big picture.
Right. I get all of that.
Yeah, same thing with city council. That's why they can't do everything we want right away because they've got all these other things people want right away. For some reason, it's way more important. The storm wastewater treatment plant is up and running before we have Orange Park done. I get that.
So
I don't have a problem.
So then why would you stop a volunteer group from doing something for free?
I don't know. All I know is there's always 2 sides to every story. I'm not sure what was going on with DPW, Parks Department or anything that decision was made, or at City Hall. Because I don't have that story. I only have one side of it. I'm sure, so, can I think of, to make like a correlation? Because I know there's a lot going on, and we, you know, no matter what we think, parks are not something that is life-sustaining.
Exactly.
So
It's
it
not
is,
considered an essential service.
yes,
That's
thank you, that's the
exactly-
word.
It is.
That's the word. It's not an essential service. You have to take care of that kind of stuff first. Water, sewer, you know, people really get upset
Trash,
about.
police,
Yeah.
fire, that all comes first.
Yeah, that's where the money's gonna go, because that's what people want as a taxpayer, as a whole. So, you know, we have to keep fighting and struggling and
Exactly.
taking the crumbs, because honestly, we're at the bottom of the pile, man.
Parks always have been.
Very
Yeah,
true.
But it's sad because your town is judged by its parks. Someone
Right.
looking at a town.
But the pot is
looks
only so
at-
big.
They don't know what the sewer system is and they hope that it works, but
Yeah.
they don't know it. But they
Right,
do
it's in your
do a
face
drive
with the
by.
parks,
Yeah.
yeah.
And parks and the roads, they come through your town and they.
But you remember going down some of those bumpy roads in that van, okay?
Oh, going
So-
uphill or something?
Yeah, yeah. You know, I've been putting up with that bumpy road for decades, okay? Maybe next year, the year after, it's finally gonna get fixed. Well, you know, that was really important to me, but I've waited 20 years to get that road fixed. if we have to wait 4 years, it doesn't seem that long to me. You know, because it wasn't that important, but now somebody else is throwing money at the problem too, so now it's moving to that other pile. Instead of putting, you know, we laugh because all the good roads are always put on the other side of the highway. You know, everything's much better on the other side of the highway. What does that tell you?
You wanted it to be a.
I don't know.
I'm building it.
There's some bad ones on
Those
there.
people, the squeaky wheel
Or
hits the
streets,
grease a
yeah.
lot of the time. You know, and that's the money side of town.
That's like the lady at City Council,
Yeah.
the comment was, there was a section between Fourth on Cedar and, not Cedar, excuse me, Spruce and Pine, and she goes, you know, I think there's a brick under that, maybe we should just get down to the brick, I think it's historically, that'd be better than this cinders or whatever.
Probably.
So, yeah, so
Yeah,
it's all over.
There's, I'm sure, a lot of reasons, it's just that we're at the bottom of the pile. You know, whether we like it or not, essential services are gonna come first.
Exactly.
And believe me, if your sewer's backing up, you want that to come first.
It's gotta be
First
first,
of
but
all.
parks have to be a priority because.
And that's what we're here to do.
Yeah,
Here's what I
and we
would
are,
say
yeah,
about
we are doing
parks.
it. They,
Good parks bring people. And when you get the people, you get better tax base.
yes, they get
Right.
good people, yes.
Okay, and that's how I see it.
And the
It's-
visitors, when we were down there working, you met people from all over the country. I was shocked at where they came from. And at that First Street Beach, they just are driving by and stop, and it was amazing. I mean, they want to know about the top of town and all that kind of stuff. But they're judging the whole time.
Oh, yeah.
And they love to see volunteers working on stuff. It speaks well for the town.
Absolutely.
Well, we're on to the round table now, so I can bring whatever we want. The last thing, Katie gave this is from Kelly McCall, and the tentative schedule for 2023, look at it, but otherwise it's just the third Thursday, so, this is basically a draft. Do we have to approve this, Katie, or?
Yes.
Okay, so we need to approve the schedule for 2023. They did put the chairs in the picture. I
Very
thought that was
nice.
quite
Very nice.
nice. So they do photograph very well.
Can I just make a note
Yes.
for January? It's someone's birthday, and that would make a very, that should be a
We'll make
big,
you a
deal. That
cake.
should be a big deal.
Okay.
I'm not sure who,
And we got the-
Is it a conflict to have it on that date?
it might be a conflict for everybody else. We'll have to have, as long as I have cake and ice cream and balloons, I
Yes.
love all that
She
stuff.
like presents too, probably.
When you
Prizes.
start getting over six
Prizes.
years.
Lots of prizes.
It seems to me, we don't do a meeting in December. Well, you wouldn't.
I
remember.
made the calendar, so whatever.
Okay.
Yeah, so you were probably
We used to not
right.
have one in
Yeah.
You're probably right.
No December
In
meeting.
November?
December.
I remember.
And see where it lands the
December, but
21st.
mostly December.
We should have a
People
Christmas
might be
party.
traveling.
Yeah.
Uh,
So.
So you could just, yeah, just make a note on there.
So
And
no December.
No December.
Okay. Does the rest of the calendar look good?
No December?
No December.
So there won't be December this year either.
How about April? Is that
Let me look, I have the old
Third
schedule.
Thursday?
Like right here, the old schedule that was approved was December 15th, last year's.
Yeah, usually.
Yes, it is.
What is everybody?
That was the first time we had it in December,
Okay, this was the first one?
last year, yeah.
Yeah, I don't remember.
There's one for this
maybe
December.
they requested, they,
Yeah, I think you requested it.
Yeah.
Oh, we requested. Well, and it is early, the 15th. Maybe it's.
So let's have one this December, we'll have one this December, because it was already approved, the December 22nd.
Well, we canceled it.
What is everybody's feelings on that?
That's not the same date as the June.
This was for the 22nd, this is for the 23rd, and it
I
is.
think we're required to have 4, so if we X one, it's
The
not really
15th,
that.
but this
Is that
is
what
for
you're
this
Oh,
saying?
year.
yeah.
And that's for next year.
Yeah.
Actually, it is earlier this year.
Yeah.
It's a better date.
I think we take this, if you wanna make a motion to take December off, is that what you're doing?
Whatever you want. Or do you want it this December to have?
Or we can wait.
Let's not vote on this year's yet, that's
Yeah.
already, let's vote on the 23. And does anyone make a motion to approve the 23 except for the month of December, like, otherwise the meeting stand.
I'll make a motion to approve it, minus the December meeting
I'll second.
as discussed.
All in favor?
Aye.
Motion passed. And then you'll call Kelly then and tell her.
Mhm.
Perfect. Okay, so then,
But this December is still on.
this December is still on, yes.
Unless we change.
And then unless we change it in November, but right now it's on. And then we're gonna have that next meeting to go over.
What do you think about December doing like a potluck? Make it a little bit more festive, bringing something in.
This December.
Yeah.
Can we use the
Can we do that?
marina to do things like that?
No, because of the recording thing,
Oh.
remember?
Bring food, festivities, some
And we
stuff.
asked Barry to.
I'll
have
play my
some
boombox,
more
Christmas
intros.
music.
Well, that's 200.
I'll make something.
Like something after the meeting, but then we have to close down here. So I don't know how that would
We should
work.
do something afterwards.
Okay, let's have a short meeting in December, 5:30 to 6:30, and at 6:30 we'll adjourn and.
Let's have our Parks Commission Christmas party.
Yeah.
We never had one.
You're right. Let's do that at 6:30, and we can do it our house or somewhere, I don't care. And we'll have
We have a
a
dress.
potluck at 6:30.
Yeah, dress appropriately, $50 limit.
I'll do the
I like
secret
it.
Don't
Santa.
ask,
Don't talk
I
about
will
it out
ask
loud.
to make sure that we.
Secret Santa.
Go
We'll
to
do
Tom's
that in
Deals.
November.
There you go.
All right.
I will ask to make sure that that's allowed. Otherwise, the lady will take minutes at the
So I'll try to find a place on our meeting date in December where we're gonna go afterwards and have it all ready.
Oh, okay, we can just go to our house, whatever anybody wants.
Yeah, we'll figure it
We'll
out.
figure that out, we'll work on that. Okay, roundtable, anything that we should.
The only thing I like to add is the beach vendors. It's getting to be that time, and I hear there's some interest in First Street.
I met with a gentleman yesterday that came down, him and his wife looked around First Street.
So how's that process work? The ones that are in there now are not guaranteed, they have to
Correct,
submit.
they would have to submit another bid for the next
Proposal?
meeting.
We're supposed to be included in that,
Yeah,
that discussion.
Typically, he starts that in January, though, Jeff does.
Yeah, it's starting
That
already.
sounds-
And he mentioned it
Yes.
to us on the bus tour too.
That,
There was, a gentleman who was a vendor up in Mackinac Island had a,
was that the one that
Deal?
came, the one that did on that?
and he was real interested, cause he's moved to Manistee in doing First Street.
but we should
And
be,
of course, the other one's still at
representative.
Fifth Street.
yeah, but we should be included in that.
Well, I don't think they
He just
brought up
looked
for
at it
bid.
yesterday,
We
said he
have-
wanted
yeah.
to bid on it, he wasn't
Yeah.
here to make a
Do you
bid.
remember we did the bid spec thing?
But
and
did
then
we
it
do
was
last
posted.
year? I don't remember last year doing
We did, cause they had a 2-year contract.
that. Okay,
That's why he didn't,
But was it done the year before that?
yeah, kind of. Kind
I just wanna make sure we're not out of that process again.
of. Yeah.
It's almost like the last time it occurred, we were.
We went through the process and then we were told there was only one applicant. So that's what we went.
But we didn't even get a chance to review
to
or
review the
even,
contract.
and you know, just because there's one applicant, we should still be in that decision.
Yeah, you need to,
I agree. Well, there is someone that wants to represent us, but I think that all of us should talk about it. But I think we should have like a little
Well, I
committee.
think you and I were on
Yeah.
a committee
We
last
should have a committee because then it's, you know, like
Yeah,
I
we
say,
just, it's one of those things again where that's part of our job, so I just
I
wanna make
agree.
sure that.
Because I remember it seemed like I had an issue with the contract.
Yeah.
Because there was, it didn't say anything about having to follow state guidelines. There was just nothing about it. It's mandatory.
food handling?
Yeah. Yeah, I know, hard to believe. And then I raised an issue, so I think they finally put it in. But, did you ever do food bids?
No, but I mean, I know I had food handling cards because we handed out hot dogs and pizza.
Yeah.
So I had to have a food handler's card.
does anybody ever evaluate the current ones, like say the one at First Street Beach, if you're going to change it, is there any reason, I mean, do we have any evaluation on them, or
So-
can you just change it for?
Do they go by, if somebody wants to go to First Street, do they go by history, which I think Liz is talking about, or is it the highest bid? Do you know?
From my perspective, it's always been, and it is a three-year contract, from what I recall. Once that 3 years is up, you would have to rebid.
Yeah.
And then I think it's.
So is the vendor that's in there now a priority?
It would not, I do not believe that is the case
Okay.
on either beach.
I mean, don't get me wrong, Fifth Avenue's changed it wonderfully, but, you know, I just wondered what the whole process was for the approval of that. So if someone, even though she's doing a good job, someone comes in and offers more money, does that mean, but that's something I wonder we decide.
That's what your request.
Yeah, that's what we
yeah.
would probably have.
So
to
even though
do.
somebody might wanna offer more money or different services.
That's why I think they should present us their.
Yeah, I think
Yeah,
that should.
I agree.
Well, they,
Yeah.
exactly.
So we
What
can
if they have their
say-
menu, how the,
Yeah.
Yeah, just make a presentation, just that we should be in on that total.
Yeah.
Show us your food
Thing.
sandwich card first.
It's one of our responsibilities.
Yes.
And what we're
That-
supposed to
That's
do.
what I used to do.
Okay.
Bring me the food, let me see what it tastes like.
We want to be on. So, I think the whole group should be involved in it, but if we need a liaison,
I'd be happy to do it.
Yeah, do it, Lainey.
Yeah. Okay.
yeah, keep us informed, because then if there's like, and I will tell Jeff that we have 2 people we want to start, and we want to be very involved in
We
that.
just have to have liaisons with everything that's going
Yes,
on.
you do.
We should never be in the dark.
No,
You know,
and
what
that's-
was going on.
And we have the people, we have the interest, we have the
Oh, sure.
qualifications that the people here all have a diversified background that we want to be involved. We want to be here.
Being informational to the residents is something that we are
Yes,
to be,
So let's,
yeah. And the residents call us. I mean,
yes, so we
Okay.
should have answers. We should be up to date on all
Yes.
that.
That's all I have. I'm gonna hand it over to Bob.
So that's roundtable.
Yes.
When the meeting is over and there's no cameras on, can I have the council, the people who I should vote for, that's coming up for election?
Oh,
like
yes.
That are strong supporters of the parks?
Yeah.
I'd like to know, because I gotta fill out my application and I don't know
Very good
most of the people.
That's a
Will you
excellent-
tell me who I should vote for?
Yes.
You know what, it's funny you mentioned
I don't
that, because I got my absentee ballot, and I started looking at it, and I even talked to my wife, I go, who are these people? Like, and that's how a lot of people are. I mean, I actually got on the website and started looking up people who are doing things now and what they've been doing. I'm like, this is the first time I've actually looked it up. I'd just be like, oh, that name looks good. So, you know, a little dot, but I wanted to see who's been involved, how long they've been involved, and that's basically what I did my voting by this time. But I would agree. You gotta listen, you just, everyone's
As soon
got
as
their
they turn off the
job.
cameras, I'm ready to write down. I should have brought my ballot with me, I thought, but.
The city and the chamber have done a good job, though. The League of Women Voters had a forum, and there was one tonight, and I did go to it for a little bit and left it to come here, but there's another forum tonight of people running for council, so that's positive, so, but that's, thank you.
Yeah,
Good
yeah.
question. Good question.
I'm done.
there's nothing.
I have something. So I would, you know, probably didn't even notice that I was sick last month and I
Oh,
didn't
yeah,
come to
of course
the
we
meetings.
noticed.
Of course we noticed.
Who
Who's supposed to bring dinner?
Remember we turned your seat upside down? And you're kind of like,
Anyway, I really wanted to come, but I didn't want to get you sick. But because I was supposed to talk about the park history, I was gonna write articles for the newspaper, but I thought that before I did that, I would go talk to Mark Fetter down at the Historical Museum, and I didn't want to step on his toes if he already had planned to do something like that, or come to find out, he's already done it. He's researched every park. He has the history of, minus the marina, he has the history of, not marina, he just hasn't done it yet. He has a history of every park, and he was very willing to work with us and share what he has.
wow, yeah.
So basically, he gave a talk, I don't remember how many years ago it was, but he gave a PowerPoint presentation talk at one of the parks. It was either Red Schneer or Reed's Park. And he said it was very poorly attended, sadly, but it was about an hour and a half. We went through the whole history of the parks. We had PowerPoint slides. He'd be happy to do it for us in any format we wanted, whether it was on a bus tour, although he wasn't available for us. He would come here and do it for us here. He would do something in a public forum if we wanted him to present.
Great, that's a very
I
good
think,
point.
yeah. Yeah, you pick a park and let him,
Here, so it's recorded, so people
what do you
can
think?
see it.
Have it done here, but invite the public, publicize it and invite,
And it's still videotaped for people.
yes.
Right, exactly, and he said it would be 90 minutes up to 2 hours, and.
So it should be a meeting, it'd be a
He,
separate
he was
special.
actually very, very interested
Wow.
in doing that. And he
We
was-
should all know.
Yeah, and
the
he
history.
only wondered what dates we would be interested in, and he said he was only available early November because of the holidays, he gets really we were talking maybe after the holidays, January, February timeframe. What do you guys think?
I think it wouldn't be good, the people that are here sometimes look for things to do. If you're here in the winter.
So can I throw out dates?
Yeah, let's look at our
Do
calendar.
we want it during a meeting or do we want?
I don't think during a
An
meeting, if it's
additional-
90 minutes, I would say. What do you think?
Separately, like-
I don't want to say
So you might
separate.
be able to do it at the Wagner Center.
Or the library.
Just, yeah, with the library,
The
just
library.
And
arrange
it's
it.
not recorded for those who can't watch it, or who can't attend it.
Well, it could be. Don't they still have that public?
There was one.
Yeah, no, wasn't there a group that was doing recordings for the city?
Barry
Outside.
Lund,
Yeah,
did it for the Jefferson community meeting. I remember he was.
I
yeah.
think we could do it right here and have it overflowing, but just
I think the Wagner Center's so big that, I went to a couple there, and there was
Yeah.
one this week,
It is too big.
that unless they're really well attended, they look so poorly attended. I went to, and I felt bad backing out from Travis, was
Cram the
interested,
room.
cram the room here if we could. But I think invite the people, so we should make an effort,
Advertising.
pick it, advertise it, and maybe the News Advocate, because he's married to the gal from
The
the
radio.
Advocate. I think the Advocate would put this in because of his marriage, so.
so we're talking about the November meeting?
No,
No,
we can't do the
next
November.
year.
Probably getting a
Next
little too
year.
tight to remember, but sometime after the new year.
Like January 12th, say for
Can I
instance.
throw out some dates to them?
Yeah, let's throw it out. Would we want to do it the week before meeting? Is January 12th too soon or is it January 26th?
Well, board meeting.
Just gotta check room availability.
Okay, January 12th. Or January 26th. Did you not do it already?
I'm sorry, I don't understand why we're not doing it during an official meeting, we have a short
This
meeting.
is the
This is sort of
19th
a
week.
public presentation.
But it's on Zoom.
Right, he said it'd be
Peppercorn.
90 minutes to 2 hours.
And then if we
Prices
had-
later on.
Yeah,
that was
the next one, I think, yeah.
No, this would be
No, no.
all the
Oh,
parks.
that was
all
all
the
the
parks.
The whole
and
whole
the
history of Manistee
the
Park.
city of
I think
Manistee.
it'd be nice to have even like coffee and cookies and have
If we
a,
are.
with the public and try to get people to
Yeah.
come to this and make it more informal. I think it'd be,
Do we consider that a work session?
you want it on meeting night, Rob?
That's my preference.
Does everybody else? I don't
Well, I
care.
think that'd be fine.
I think
Just
it'd be fine.
have the one thing on the agenda.
Oh,
Just have parks.
so when is
District
it,
meeting.
19th?
That's the 19th of January.
Okay,
Try that.
yeah, especially if you had a meeting in December this year.
And then would,
So
would we do it at the same time, 5:30, or would you think a little later? Or?
Well, you could let people know maybe that the official presentation starts at 6.
Yeah,
Just
let's
we gotta check with the
that
presenter, the presenter.
Right.
Say, does 5:30 work for you, because this is when we meet, open public presentation.
Okay. And if that date doesn't work, do you guys have maybe a secondary date I can offer as well?
16th of February.
Yeah.
The meeting dates, okay. Does there have to be a motion made or anything to take action, or can I just?
I think just ask them. Motion and
Right.
action.
Water official date.
I think it'd be good. You think 6 o'clock people, I think 6 o'clock. They're gonna come. Okay, thank you. Good. That'd be interesting. He's good. He's good.
I talked to them.
I remember Bob at a past meeting talking about cars. The cars for the kids, radio controlled cars.
Oh, yeah.
We, that's up and coming, and that might be something we need to look at as a Parks Commission. We do have the hobby guy in town that has the cars.
Yes, I talked to him, matter of fact, he said he would enjoy coming over and meeting with the commission. He would enjoy getting his volunteers to go over and lay out what would be a good,
Yes.
I don't know what you would call it, a good runway, a good circular kind of track.
Maybe to tell us about it.
I think, tell us, I don't know anything about this.
Yeah, I don't
They're
either.
radio controlled cars, they're small cars, but they're actually
Right,
pretty
but I see
cool.
them like playing them anywhere, like you said, an official racetrack.
Well, they use that yellow stuff from what I'm seeing, and we had one in the city of Detroit. But, they use the yellow, stuff that they put on top of the fencing.
Tube?
Yeah, as the bumpers in some cases. And you actually stand, like it would be down, I think, and you would stand there and you would work your cars around this track.
Oh, that's cool.
It is very cool.
How
Now,
much room does that take? I mean, what's
I
the?
think you can make them as.
As big and as small as you like. So
Yeah,
we're thinking in terms of
exactly.
more
Is
than
it a
park.
permanent? Is
Well,
it
if you're
permanent
if you're just
structure?
using sand and
Yeah,
gravel
you
and
could do
grass.
it, like, it could be, actually not permanent. I would
Because
say.
I'm thinking you could use the parking lot at First Street
Why not use
temporarily.
Morton Park?
You could use one of our parks, is what I was thinking.
Yeah, I think it'd be an activity in the park. It was
Now,
like
this
Rich
is-
Mark changed with the disc ball.
Would the business, is it backstage? Is that
Yeah,
business?
backstage is the one I'm speaking
Oh.
of, yes.
Is that the person? Would they be interested as a business in sponsoring some kind of a, like they do video game and card game tournaments in their business, from what I understand, would they do some kind
I bet you they would.
of race
Let's have
in
them
the park
come to
or
us.
something like
I
that?
think that's something that's-
That's, thank you.
Some big time. Well, he brought it up, and I was thinking, what was he talking, I didn't understand what you were talking about at the time. Those cars are very expensive. I would like to see if we did come up with a, diagram and do a little course for it and everything, that it would be available to everybody somehow, some way.
Sure.
Where we could maybe, rent them from backstage, because they would have to be the people that repair them too. Because there is some repair that has to be done.
I understand Ludington and consumers, the city of Ludington and maybe their park commission and consumers have come up with a funding plan and building this very
A racetrack?
racetrack for
Awesome.
electronic cars.
There was a.
Now, they're not cheap, and some of these cars like, $400.
$300, yeah. They're not cheap, so they would have to be. But I would like to see it open for everybody, because not everybody can afford a $300-400 car to play with. And that was one of our drawbacks in Detroit. We didn't have the base with the cars to do it, you know? There was a couple cars out there, but they weren't, the kids can't, they couldn't afford the $300-400 cars.
What happened if he spoke to us? He asked him if there is some way that.
Exactly, well, that would be.
And if he was, or if there was a night that you do it, like, and then he loans basically
I mean-
something for one night or whatever, if he was there, that might be better than handing a kid $400.
Well, exactly, yeah, rental, yeah.
Well, all that's gonna come to our next meeting, this is November.
Yes.
And ask him whether he's available to come to our next meeting, bring a car and show us how it works.
Oh, they're cool.
And let us each control it for a little bit.
Yeah, because listen, this is
And then
adults
talk about
and
what's going on.
kids. This is
What do you-
huge for adults.
What do you like to
Especially
hear?
young
Well,
adults.
they have
Yeah.
their own little pit crew, don't they, with spare tires?
They do all
Yeah.
kinds of stuff, it's like a lot of fun, it's almost like a. So anyways, when you brought that up, I was thinking, I go, what is he talking about? And then I said, that's what he's talking about, because I forgot we had the track in Detroit.
And ask him to go look at, say, like Morton Park and look, he's probably familiar
He
with.
said he's been there, he thinks
Okay.
it'll work out fine.
Yeah, if he has a spot that would work, and maybe.
And he could probably get
maybe
sponsors.
Morris could even sponsor part of that.
Maybe we could talk to him.
That would
Put
be.
signs up around the racetrack.
Exactly, there you go, and that's exactly, your little banners,
Right.
Wouldn't that be cute?
That's a great.
That'd be cool.
Yeah, the little checker flags, oh, I think it would be awesome, yeah.
I'm glad you're picking up on this, we should.
Well, because I remember you saying it, and I couldn't remember, I was like, what was he talking about? And then I said, oh, that's what he was talking about.
Between now and then, I'll try and go down to Ludington and see just how much progress we're making on their layout, and what it looks like.
Take some pictures, yeah.
Please, and
Take some pictures for us, because just,
if you could
and like,
kind
look
of,
at the size, that's what I guess I'm not sure.
I'm not, yeah, that's gonna be something that has to be determined, but the cars are about this big, so I would
So
imagine.
they come this size and this size.
Oh, they do come in different
Oh, yeah.
sizes, because we only had the one size.
They're lots.
Is there a place on here, Main Street, that sells those?
Yes.
Backstage.
That's what
Okay.
Yes.
He's the manager there.
I've seen some for $3,000 to $4,000.
Oh, excellent, listen, they can get pretty pricey. But that's why I would like to have it open for all, we'd have to figure that out, so a kid from the neighborhood could,
Sure.
still use it, even if they don't have a
Just
$400.
like, any other party. So I make a reservation and say, 10 of us are gonna be here running cars and da-da-da-da.
Well, and you could still use the cheap cars on it.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, absolutely, they
Yeah,
can bring your
yeah,
own
because
cars.
some-
So you bring your own car.
You could bring your own
We're not
car.
gonna, the city's not gonna buy cars.
No, I think
No,
bring your
just
own car.
remote cars you can still get for.
Reasonable.
Sands Park has a small center there, am I correct? I've never
Yes.
been inside of it.
That a
Okay,
area use.
is that staffed
Yes,
year round?
Yes.
yes.
What is it that they do out of that building? I just need to ask that.
One by the county, it's the teen center. There's 2 full-time staff there. Kids after school will go there. They have facility in there, pool, foosball.
Gotcha, so they have table games.
And then
Okay.
it's open in the winter because that's where we put our ice rink on back.
Right,
So that's where they get most of the volume, I think. So, and then they'll get their skates in there.
the warming center, they'll use it as a warming
Correct.
center, okay.
Yeah, and they serve hot drinks and snacks.
And the reason why I ask that is because I think Sam's is a little too jammed with activities myself, but just having staff there would be a good, start maybe for a racetrack. Well, we don't even only have to have one.
Well, and that one you could use for those tennis courts.
Well, hey, that's an idea too, I was just trying to think of things,
It already has grass.
Right, I think.
We wouldn't have to haul in dirt.
So do they do are they just supervising, or do they
They
actually
have the,
program and
they have the
activity
skate park there
events?
as well.
They have what?
The skate park there as well.
Right, exactly.
Yeah.
But the staff that are there, those are county, staff?
And it's the teen center, you need
The area
yeah, go and visit, they're there at
separate.
3 o'clock every day on, so
I'm
you
gonna have to
can
go.
walk in there.
3 o'clock is when it
Hang out,
opens?
yeah.
I'm gonna go in there and check it out.
Yeah.
I wasn't aware that was even a thing, but that's cool as hell. Do you know if they just supervise the activities, or do they actually, program?
They would supervise the activities inside.
Okay.
You can ask.
Vicki, you have anything to add?
I will.
No, not so much. All the parks are closed, obviously, all the water's going up. There's a little bit of the wind we had, a little bit of damage to the land, it's nothing superficial, just some of the eaves come off, but I have it in the truck, I just need time to replace it. It's no big deal, so, yeah. I only got 2 staff right now.
2 full-time staff is all?
No, they're not full-time, no, they'll be done next week. And then the only one full-time is on vacation in November.
So that leaves you by yourself?
Are you alone, Vicki?
Sorry?
You're all alone then?
I like it better.
Okay.
I get more done.
Yeah, that's good. Katie, you have anything to add?
No, I'm good.
I move we adjourn.
Second?
All fair?
Aye.
Thank you.
Cameras off? Good, time to